Is Bitcoin getting ready to moon as massive inflows, record-breaking inflows, came into Bitcoin and the crypto markets last week? We're going to talk about that. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, is speaking at Davos, the World Economic Forum convention, about what Ripple is planning to do, their IPO, and why they might be leaving the United States. Also, we're going to talk about Polygon. We're going to go over our leverage trades we put in yesterday. Are we in profit? Are we in a loss? We're going to talk about that. And a new Solana phone is coming out. Do not miss today's show with Magic Internet Money. Let's get into it.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, and stale information that you would typically expect from other YouTube channels, but we do it in a fun, sexy, Sin City, kind of overhyped up, flash,
Leverage trading,
glamour, strip clubs, gambling kind of way. That's what we do here, baby.
What?
Thank you. Appreciate it. You know what? I went triple shot today on my coffee, bro. I hope you're ready, David. I hope you are ready. I went single. No, first I went double. And then I was like, you know what? Add an extra shot in there. Let's go.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
Before we start, I want to give a special shout out. Today is my oldest son's birthday. So he is in the chat as is under my account, So Thomas, I love you, son. Happy birthday to you. Guys, help me out. Help me wish my my little man a happy birthday. Throw it in the chat. I know he's watching. He only watches my show on special days like his birthday. So big shout out to my son, Tom.
Are you going to funnel all the super chats labeled to him?
Good idea. Well, he owes me money because, 11 years I've been 11 years I've been raising.
11 years old, all the
Listen, man, nothing in life is free, bro. 11 years, he's getting a bill when he's 18.
Okay, as a birthday
Keep
present.
buying Valentine's Day gifts at Walgreens.
Hey, as a birthday present, you're gonna
keep taking all of your son's chore money.
Yeah, that's it. Erase it. So as a birthday present, he doesn't owe you money anymore.
Get him a Bitcoin or something.
There we go.
He already has some. Yeah, he has a separate account with crypto. All my kids do.
No. Is he KYC'd?
He's not. Leverage trading with his money, actually. Sorry. So let's start here. So I said massive, record-breaking inflows, and I could just leave this up here, and you could figure out what the hell's going on. Weekly crypto asset flows, just absolutely trouncing the previous weeks, and this is money from institutions. This is money from enterprises. Yeah. Big, also, Kenny G said it's his birthday too, for real. If it is, happy birthday to you, my friend. So trading volumes were up. By the way, this gentleman here, James Butterfield, he is joining our show on Monday. So first time guest, super excited to have him on. It'll be perfect because these come out on Monday. So here we go. Bitcoin, $1.1 billion in inflows, Robin, last week. Last week, $1.14 billion. Ethereum coming in at number 2 at $25 million. And then the next highest one is, I thought it was Solana. It's not. It's multi-asset, and then it's short Bitcoin. So people are shorting Bitcoin, but not nearly as much as money is flowing in. But some potential negative, we talk about the grayscale sell pressure. So this is Grayscale. This is about 9,000 Bitcoin that they have transferred to Coinbase from their Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. As you can see here, in transactions of about 1,000 BTC per. Rob, we talked about this on our show yesterday, both on the trading show and on the live show. And, we said, you think this thing subsides in 2 days. Seeing this, right? There's only 9,000. They have what, 600,000? Is it really that close to being over, man? What do you think here, bro?
People that bought Bitcoin through the trust, majority of them are not looking to sell and exit Bitcoin because there's an ETF, right? Now, there are some people that bought Bitcoin at sub $10,000 if you include the premium, and that's just in recent times. It was damn near a 50% premium or discount, basically, around a 50% discount, buying Bitcoin at the depths of the bear market And so people were picking up Bitcoin for less than $10,000. And a year and a month later, you can sit here and sell it for $43,000. That's a 4x, bro. And so people were taking profits. But they didn't accumulate all of that. They didn't accumulate all of that Bitcoin on the trust at the depths of the bear market. There were some people that bought then, but the trust has been around for a while. They got to the largest active wallet over time, right? With people that have that share the long-term vision. So I think that the massive downward sell pressure is over with when it comes to the ETFs. Now, will there be more selling? Will there be more people exiting? Yes, but I think it's going to be dwarfed compared to the inflows that you're going to see in BlackRock and the other ETFs.
By the way, Rob, not to cut you off here, but you might be saying, well, okay, they sent 9,000 Bitcoin to Coinbase. Why is Bitcoin up? Right, it's at $43,000. You guys got to understand, OTC, over the counter, that is where a lot of the buying and selling happens for these massive quantities of Bitcoin. Whether it's the miners that are selling their Bitcoin to Coinbase. Coinbase doesn't take all that Bitcoin and puts it on the open market, right? Because on the back end, they have people who want to buy over the counter as well. Now with the institutions and the ETFs, a lot of these buys are happening over the counter. So where the real demand that's going to put upward pressure on the price movement of Bitcoin is going to be when retail comes in, right? Or is going to be when there's not enough people selling OTC and people buying OTC when that gets thrown off kilter. And well, we got the halving coming up in 3 months. 3 months. So we go from 900 potential Bitcoin being sold every day over the counter to Coinbase, using a hypothetical if they were all sold to Coinbase, from that to 450. And ask yourself this question. In 3 months, you think the amount of Bitcoin people have to and want to buy is going to increase or decrease? If the answer is increase, then we know we should see a big move up in the price of BTC.
Coinbase is probably acquiring a fraction of the daily Bitcoin. So when you say 900 going to Coinbase isn't buying 900.
No. I know. I just
here's the thing. You globally with every single miner, 900 Bitcoin is being mined per day.
Period.
Yeah. Now, how much of that is going to Binance, all the other exchanges? How much is going into a longer hold from the miners themselves? Because right now they're not operating in the same scenario that they had back when the market was near the bottom, where they needed to cover operating costs. Probably have operating costs. You could probably store Bitcoin aside for a couple months, a few months, 6 months. They know that price is going to probably go up. And so they can realize a little bit more profits. It's a big game, but supply and demand, bro. And here's the thing, like, yeah, retail drives the order books, true. But if there's not enough supply and these ETFs are requesting more and more Bitcoin from the exchanges, from Coinbase, if that's the one, that's the major player, at some point, Coinbase has got to go and they have to go and buy it themselves off of their own order books, right?
Or the
that's it. Yeah, if they need 5,000 Bitcoin, they can pick up 3,000 from the miners. They have a shortfall of 2,000. There's an order book with 10,000 Bitcoin sitting on it in their own exchange. Let's be real. What are they going to do? They're going to start buying from their own exchange.
And that is the beauty of
and also exchanges do borrow from one another as well. So if Coinbase can always do.
But still, those are coming off the order books for the most part.
But here's the thing: if Coinbase knocks on KuCoin's door and like, hey, we need 2,000, we have a shortfall of 2,000 Bitcoin. You have any you can send us? And they're looking, they're like, all right, we got 500. We can send you. We have right around that same price that we want to sell it to you. We have it in the order books. We'll just buy another 100 right off our order books, or 1,000. You understand what I'm saying? This all trickles over. So if Coinbase does go OTC on somebody else, they're clearing their own order books. And at some point, there's a finite amount of Bitcoin. At some point, they have to go and buy it. If you have a car dealership and used cars are through the roof, then you can sit here and keep buying them from the whatever distributor you're getting from. But at some point, you're like, hey, I need to fill up this car lot. You're going to go down and you're going to start buying cars from all of the, I don't know, the untraditional ways of picking it up. You're going to go to local marketplaces. You're going to start buying off of from people and individuals. Facebook Marketplace. Honestly, that is, I have a close ties with a friend who is in the automotive business, and he has an employee. His job is simply to buy cars. And if you can't get them at the auction or wherever it is, he's literally going on Facebook Marketplace buying used vehicles, just paying him cash. That's just how the free market works. And so when you run out of OTC Bitcoin, you're going right to the exchanges to the order books. And so it might not be immediate, it might not see it right away, but as these inflows keep piling in on these ETFs,
and that is the beauty. That is the beauty too of Bitcoin. It's not like something like a metal, right? That can be mined, like gold, where all of a sudden you see this massive influx, and then on the back end you're gonna have people, right? You're arbitraging. There's people out there that find ways to find and look for ways to make money. And so if the making money is, hey, let me go spend money on some equipment to go mine gold because gold's price is skyrocketing, they can do that. With Bitcoin, only 900 get mined. Period, a day. After the halving, only 450 get mined. Period, a day. Before we bring on Magic, I do want to give a big shout out to our channel sponsor, CAM's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business scale, grow, and maximize your networking and IT and cybersecurity, visit bluewiretech.com or pick up the phone, call them, or click the link in the description of this video. We also have our Rate My Portfolio segment coming up a little bit later. And with that being said, let's bring on our guest. Joins us every Tuesday to break down the charts. Magic, Internet Money. Magic, how you doing, brother?
I am cold, but good.
Oh yeah, you say you're cold, but I only see a thin sweater on. What's going on, man? You don't got a little poofy jacket?
It's hot in here. I had a nice little space heater going. Yesterday was rough though. No power for a while, so it's fun. It's like -13, I think, yesterday, and then today it's wind chill's like -15. It's great. I'm moving to Vegas. That's all I decided. I'm just coming down there.
Hey, bro.
Rocco, pull up the studio cam. You can stay on this red couch here.
You sit right next to me, bro.
He can stay on the couch until he gets a new apartment.
He said next to me. Oh, sleep on the couch.
Yeah, you know how people offer couches.
Yeah, there we go.
Offer the couch in studio.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's way too big for me.
From
I
the
don't even need that much room.
It has horsehair.
Some jackets on there.
Anyways, Robin's most prestigious accomplishment is buying that stupid couch. Magic.
Nice couch. Everyone, I get so many compliments.
Anyways, okay. No one gives a compliment except people who think it's a casting couch. Look, guys, we have Magic. Listen, stop wasting his time. Robin doesn't care about your stupid couch. Anyways, Magic, I apologize on behalf of Robin here. You said
it's here.
Robin apologized to you. Okay, so it's cold where you are. Are the charts cold? And I want to share this tweet, and then we'll get into a Bitcoin chart. So ETF update. The top 3 Bitcoin ETF trading volumes so far today. BlackRock coming in at 226.9 million, Fidelity 170 million, and ARK 65 million. Now these things don't get settled in real time. So if I go out and buy 1 Bitcoin worth of an ETF, they don't just immediately go out and buy 1 Bitcoin worth. They usually settle end of day or end of the week. And so Magic, yesterday we did a trading show and we put in a Bitcoin long trade. And here, if you guys were watching our show yesterday, you followed along. So the trade we put in, we did a 8x Bitcoin long with a liquidation price of 37.8. We were expecting this thing to break out to about 43.7. Our entry price was around 42.5. What is the Bitcoin chart? What is it saying? What does the structure look like? And are we going to get to that 43.7, or do you think there's more downside to come?
I think you guys got a pretty good trade there. I think 43.7 is well within reach, so we're pretty close already. But same levels we talked about last week. So these are levels that I mentioned once the yearly session closed going into 2024. I'm going to keep these levels for an entire year. They're based on high time frame standard deviations, essentially. this was the level we wanted to see claimed at 47,047. You can see we actually never closed above it. We did get a rejection out of the gold pocket right on time, which was good. I took that short personally, and I haven't taken profits on it. I'm going to hold it until either I'm stopped out or we reach other targets. But in the meantime, you've come back down to, outline support. So taking a long here is not bad. You did have a setup. We'll talk about your guys' targets and confluence there. I believe it was this. So all you're looking at is essentially a pattern based on Fibonacci. And this is what's called a shark pattern, meaning that you've come up and you've taken the highs and the lows of the pattern. So you have a low here, high here. You've come up and you've stopped out these guys with a short, and you've come down and you now stopped out these traders, where this would be the position that as long as you're holding on to 42,216 on a closing basis, you would be looking at this to maybe make a push to the 50% mark, which lines up nicely with where you guys are looking to potentially take profits. So you guys are trading this market better than a lot of the other people involved. There's a lot of people that probably panic sold that. Essentially, you're looking for the 50% mark, and that lines up really, really nicely right here. We'll get rid of some of this stuff, and we'll talk about that and why that matters. And we'll put a little box on the chart because everybody likes boxes, right? So 45,000. Yeah, 45,000 is about what you'd be looking for in total if it were to run to the target. I like to kind of front run my targets a little bit. And usually what I'll do is I'll take something like the B leg right here, and I'll just stretch it on over, and we'll just say, this is the zone that I need to see recovered. This was your basing zone before you came down. So you can see your M shape here. It just makes really good sense to come back to this and back test old support. So I think you guys are right in line. If you were to look at things from more of a statistical standpoint, 44,006 is your new weekly pivot. I haven't run statistics on those for 2023 by itself, but going into this last bull run and through it, they hit at a 70+% hit rate. So a pretty good likelihood that you mean revert back to this. And if I do recall, your weekly range from the past week is left naked, which doesn't happen often. And I believe you closed outside of the range. And the reason I bring that up is this is a setup that I put together a long time ago, back in like 2021, where if you close outside of the previous week's session here, I'm going to get rid of this now. We don't need it anymore. The previous week's session here is closed. You can see this is your standard deviation of volume. There's your naked point of control. If you close outside of this, there's not too many iterations where this happens with Bitcoin, believe it or not. Maybe like 30 or 40 of them at this point now over the last year. But you had about an 87% chance of coming back and filling this naked point of control in the next session, meaning this week, which would be a really nice mean reversion, meaning that trade that you guys had, if you were to close some of it and not all of it, move your stop loss up, you potentially could gain a little more. But you just want to make sure you protect your gains, lock some in, and then manage the trade accordingly. But if you were to look at this one more time from a fib standpoint, it should be your gold pocket as well. So that would automatically kind of be an area that I'd start tuning into. Mainly because if you clear this area, your upper point of control from this consolidation right here, and we'll extend this over even further, that box we just made, you stand and probably make new highs on this rally, or at least challenge this high. So things get interesting above about $46,000. But realistically, 44 is probably a very good, target for now. Last thing would be, do we have the weekly VWAP on here? So we're doing a lot of time-based stuff today, aren't we? That's all right. Where did your VWAP close? Right below the gold pocket. Yeah, so there's a lot of pull to the upside for just at least a bounce. I personally think that over time we have lower targets ahead of us, but for your guys' sake and your trade for the upcoming time being, that's a good trade. So yeah.
And then another thing, what we were kind of looking at on the Bitcoin chart I believe it was on the 4-hour, was those the Bollinger Bands were getting super tight. And obviously, typically when that happens, we do tend to see a big move. We just got to figure out if it's to the upside or downside. With the new ETFs here, we've seen a little more volatility. We saw Bitcoin drop from 47 to under 42K for a brief moment of time. So we're kind of, as far as like a narrative driven, once this grayscale selling subsides, we here are expecting a resumption of the uptrend of Bitcoin. Is it still in maybe on a higher time frame? Is it still in an uptrend, or because we kind of put in that lower low, it's starting to reverse a little bit?
So technically you don't have that lower low just yet. And what I mean by that is,
Oh, because the wick.
These are technically your lows right here, and you left them. And I actually expect these lows to eventually be taken. But, if this is something that you can do if you guys aren't even like big traders and you don't want to be a trader, even if you just want to track trends, you can get out like this polyline tool. It's right here on TradingView. Really good tool to start learning market structure. And what I mean by that is you can say, okay, here's my most recent like major low. I've got a high, higher low, things like that. You can track it however you want. You can say, oh, this is my next high, this is my low, here's my high, and here is my new low. Meaning, now I can see clear as day where my trend is at and where my lows are at. Right? You could say that this is my low that we need to protect. You can see that we missed it right here, at least on this exchange, at about $40,000, give or take. Nice round number. People like that. So you could do that for sure. You are threatening that in the sense that if you come down and you lose that level, you do have the next available level down at 34K. And this starts to line up more with where I'm looking overall after the correction is said and done. Open to being wrong on that. Like I said, I'm long from much lower. Like I've been holding those. I'm not getting rid of them. It's on my highlights page of Twitter where I tell you guys I'm not closing these trades. I'll let you know when I do, just like I let people know when I closed my trade from 2022 when I shorted. I just held on to that for over a year until I knew that the bottom was kind of in and I could close that safely. So same concept for that long. And then the short up here is kind of be similar because it is a bit of a hedge just based on where we're at in the chart because typically events like that do kind of mark tops. I know that it's different because it's ETF, spot ETF, but just all the confluence that was up here and the trade was kind of too good to pass up. So I did short 49K kind of blindly. I wouldn't say blindly, but preset for it. Did get my fill, obviously. And I'll hold on to that looking for about 34. Main reason being looking for 34, maybe a little lower. Not really trying to be perfect is, again, we go back to like mean reversion type stuff. Like you look at your yearly pivot, it's down here, it's untapped. Those hit almost every single year, like 80% hit rate. That's pretty high. And for me, I just got to keep trading what it is. And that doesn't actually break anything. You got to think that realistically, this is my zero line for this year. This is where you'd probably have to give up is somewhere in this region before like this uptrend's really in trouble. And when you look at this, you can kind of see why I won't get rid of the magnet is, this is your trend, right? So if you were to lose, this area of the chart, then you could get worried. I don't think that that's a thing that's going to happen. However, if we were to come down into this region at all, I am most certainly going to be looking at that with a lot of interest. I think a lot of other people will too. So that's why I'm kind of looking towards maybe up here in this region rather than actually getting the full on retrace down in this area.
Magic,
I think everybody's
Magic, you said historically about 80% of the time it hits that. Playing devil's advocate here, can we say, with Bitcoin being a fairly new asset and, 14 years trading on Wall Street,
it's not a lot of information.
It's not, right. And so we have a catalyst now that we've never had before. And so I feel like it's to at least the crypto people, it's a new thing. Maybe if you've been trading in the in the traditional markets for a while, but I just if it hits 34K, I'm happy. I'll add to my bag. I'll buy. I just don't know. Like 40K, I think there's going to be buyers. 38K, 38.5. I know that's a big level everyone talks about. I think that there was going to be. I think that's where the gap was, right about 39.5.
I'll pull that up. Actually, that's a good point. There are gaps down here, and that is an area to be. Sorry, this was actually my CME plan for CME, which panned out pretty all right. We're in log. We gotta get out of log. This is your gap right here, 40,325 to 39.6, right here. And you can see that it's essentially support at this point. But one would expect that to get filled only because, and again, we're talking about an asset with very little history, so it doesn't have to. And I don't trade gaps personally, but I do mark them out, just kind of like to know where they are because people do ask about them. But if you were to go back on the Bitcoin chart, there's only two gaps outside of, I believe it's 9,800, just below it, that have never been filled. It's these two. So on the daily chart, every gap in Bitcoin's history, which doesn't even go back to the 2017 or 2018 all-time high, has been filled. So, there's always going to be first in this market, but these would be targets. And it's really in line with that 41K region or 40K region that if you lose this gap, this is my target, right? And maybe it goes lower than that. I don't know. We'd have to kind of assess and see, but for me, it's pretty simple. I take more of a trader's aspect of it. I'm not closing my longs. I don't think that's wise to be like, all right, I'm such a good trader that I'm going to, this is going to happen. It's got an 80% likelihood. That's a really bad mentality to make. So why give up a good position? I'm more so about protecting my capital and seeing if I can't add to my bag a little bit at the same time. So if I get stopped out of that trade, it's not the end of the world. But that's just how I see it. But if there is going to be downside, I have to have a plan for it. Just like we have a plan for upside. If it gets above that 47K on like a closing basis, or 46, I guess in this case for the local, just let it rip, man. Let it go. Don't fight it. Definitely don't do anything stupid.
Amen
Don't
to
start
that.
shorting it because you think you're smart. Just let this thing do what it's going to do. Because when you look at Bitcoin's chart overall, I mean, I know this is Bybit, so it doesn't have all the history. It's it's a really good chart. It's just straight up and to the right. A bunch of higher lows, a lot of bullish events, and a series of bullish historical events for Bitcoin. And I do think the ETF will be eventually bullish as well. I think that for me, I just follow like the cycles a little bit in terms of is this time different? Maybe until it does something different, it's hard for me to say. So I'm just going off of what we normally get out of a pre-halving crash. We'll see if we get one. It's just like I guess a kind of devil's advocate to myself, and for your point is, you remember how everyone said that we had to go down 88.6% on Bitcoin to find a bottom, because that's all we've ever done, and this is the worst economy when it was crashing that it's ever experienced. Bitcoin's never been through a recession, all that stuff. It had it didn't retrace as much. It had the least amount of retrace I think it's ever had after a top like that. So maybe that's the case here, where we don't see that pre-halving move like down, like that's like 25 to 40% like we normally get. Maybe we don't get that. So we do have to be prepared for that. So I said, if you're long from lower, if you locked in some profits, that's great. You're getting a decent buy opportunity here, and you may get another one down here. So maybe not buy back in with all that capital, but at the same time, don't just go closing your positions, because I said 34K and 80%. Those are buzzwords at that point. I would say play it conservative. If you're in the market from lower, definitely hold on to those positions if you can, especially if they're spot positions. If you're leveraged, take your profits. But if you're in spot, like you've probably got a good position there.
Awesome. Magic, if there's before we let you go, is there any alpha you can give us? Is there any setups you got your eye on, or some potential trades you might be eyeing?
I was eyeing that long actually that you guys took. I took the same trade, so we're in a very similar Bitcoin trade. Ethereum is an interesting one, because Ethereum's one that the only other trade I took, and this shout out to Big Rob, I did take this trade. I took this short, so on STX from last week. I did take that setup we talked about. So that was a good one.
Rob said it's going to explode, so you went the opposite.
But it didn't pop off in the time frame that I said.
Oh, fair enough.
Thank you.
I'm just messing. A big one, like a really big high time frame setup, because I like to do these, especially since a lot of your channel, they're really into investing. So I'm going to go over QNT. I think I've covered this one other time, but QNT is like a really high time frame. Like this is for like the next cycle essentially. I've been eyeballing this setup since last year. Like I've probably had this on my chart for over a year at this point. I was looking for about $40 on this for the low. And from there, all we were looking to do is do something, I call it super speculative. It's a bat harmonic. And I think that, the bat won't play in the sense that like, we don't want to short the high when we reach it, but you've got a really nice bat, where I was looking at this as this is going to be a good opportunity to essentially run the range. And just like we had with Bitcoin, you can see that you've got this right here. I'm going to change the color just because it's a little easier to see. And actually, you know what? Let's go this color. There we go. Really nice structure here. So you've got a W essentially. What you want to see is 145 reclaimed on this one. I'm going to get rid of that line right here. About 145. And you start living above that, things start to look like you're going to re-challenge this $200 range. And if you get above $200, I'm looking to take this thing as high as like 357 and maybe even higher over time. This implies more of a range bound aspect, but this is a very like high time frame setup for me. You had a really nice 50% retrace and really building out your range of, where do I want to be buying? We do this a lot with other assets where we say, where's the value at? And for this one, this is going to be your accumulation range. So you're looking to buy this thing below 145. You get worried if it loses $40 essentially, which is really far away anyway. But just to look at 145, why it's so important in getting above, like this is when I've been accumulating at good prices. So, I'd be looking to run that range when altcoins have their day. But this is right here where you want to see that change of behavior. So this is a quarterly chart. So 3 months of price action at a time, just very basic. we have not closed above this in a long, well, that's not going to work. This candle from quarter 2 in 2022, so April's open. You can see that it comes in at 145,789. You have not closed above that on a quarterly basis. So the moment you get that closure, you have a change of behavior. And I would start looking at this as a move to, maybe even as high as re-challenging this high right here at 228. But realistically, all the way up at like 272, 290, maybe even starting to hit those targets up there. So if you're an investor in QNT, that's what you want to see. Really, realistically, you only get worried below, you start to go, okay, I'm going to get much deeper entries on this asset if you lose right around $90. You lose $90, and this plan gets pushed out and maybe you have to reevaluate. But as long as it's ranging in here, the moment you get above 145, altcoins have their day. This one's going to pop off. It's probably going to double. And it's a big cap, in my opinion, in terms of what it is. So I'd like to trade those a little bit better. Those aren't, it's not a bad thing. Like, in crypto, we're spoiled. Everyone wants a 10x, 100x, but there's a lot of QNT holders out there, a lot of bag holders, also a lot of people that are buying into it because it does get a decent push from the community, I guess. And I know that the tokenomics of this token are kind of, I wouldn't say they're designed to pump. That's a really terrible way to put it, but that's how people do. But, the supply is conducive to when this does have a nice run and hype is back in the market on these altcoins. Like, that's one that I've got my eye on for sure. Low risk play, in my opinion.
Love it. Magic, always bringing the alpha, my friend. Thank you so much. Guys, we did pin Magic's website. If you want more Magic Internet money, you want more access to his insights and his trade setups, click the link, go to his website, and you'll find all the resources there. We love having you on Tuesdays, my friend. Thank you so much. Stay warm, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
All right, good one. All right. Do want to give a little love to the chat. 300 viewers, 100 likes. One third of you have done your job. The other 2/3, well, clock in. Hit the like button.
Oh no, we can't pay you though for clocking in. I want to put that. I don't want to get
one of those.
sued,
It's like volunteer hours,
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like court ordered volunteer hours. You don't get paid for it.
Ordered.
That's right.
Robin's experience. Anyways, go ahead.
So if you are new here, say hello so we can drop a whole lot back at you. We got TFP, Centerman, Malcolm, Jason F, Wicked X, Mike Play, Khalid, ADP, Crypto Bros, Maurice, Jake, James Bond, Local 11, and Patrice Roca. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
All right, friends, we have come to the time. We are doing a Rate My Portfolio, and today's Rate My Portfolio segment is brought to you by Decrypted Tax. We know tax burden for a lot of people is something to worry about. I worry about it myself. And so if you want to go with professionals that have dealt in the cryptocurrency industry, not only do they do crypto taxes, but business and personal as well. And if you're a Sin City community member, we got a deal for you guys, 25% off if you use the services. We are going to drop the link in the chat as well. So feel free to use it if you're looking to do taxes. And so portfolio, what does it look like? Here we go. It's a big one. $500,000 portfolio. $515,000. Their goal is to get to 25 million by the end of 2030. Now, here is what it looks like. And so you have about 29% in Bitcoin, 20.5% in Solana, 18.9% in Celestia. You have 8.7% in GFAL, which is games for a living. Big gaming play there. 7.5% in Litecoin, 5.6% in Caspa, 4% in Atom. And then the others include Injective and Mina Protocol. So, Robin, this portfolio, keep in mind, 25 mil in 6 years. So what is that? That is about a 50x? 50x in the next 6 years. What are your thoughts? What do you like? What do you not like? And yeah, give us your thoughts, man.
I would 50x. I would just have to go with because 6 years.
Let me guess, Ethereum.
Yeah, 100%. You need heavy.
When did you become an Ethereum?
Heavy
Ethereum.
I would say 20% Bitcoin is what you need. which
So
I think
reduce
the
your
29% is fine. 29%
Okay.
is fine.
So third is in Bitcoin. You're fine with
The
it.
Solana is a good play. Like I think those two, I think you nailed on the head, right?
Okay.
Caspa, I just don't know.
Caspa could be a
It could, but you know, for what you're going for, 50x, I don't know, man. I just feel like you just need to build out on these scratch the Litecoin. That thing's
yeah. What is up with that was my biggest thing is
scratch the Litecoin. I would go Ethereum, Solana, 6 years, 50x. You know what? You're gonna have to go further down the list.
You think so?
Yeah.
So we're talking.
I think
Rob, we're talking 2 cycles here, bro.
yeah, cycle and a half.
Let's call it 2 cycles because
We have cycles.
This cycle,
Solana, Ethereum, Chainlink, Cardano, Aave, and
you said Chainlink.
yeah,
So
Chainlink.
you don't like GFAL? That's a big game.
So I would say stacks. I would go my portfolio. I don't know the exact percentage, but I'd probably have stacks, Aave. And that's probably that would be kind of my yeah, I would go stacks, Aave,
Okay, so you
Ethereum,
said go further
Solana,
down the
Cardano.
list. You haven't named anything that's further down the
Yeah,
list.
yeah. Well, Aave's down the list. Aave and stacks are my ones that are a little further down the list.
I think
Yeah, Aave, stacks would be my smaller plays. Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, and Chainlink. That would be my setup if you're going 6 years. I just don't think that the altcoin the altcoin cycle is going to weed itself out, right? The altcoins, there's going to be some that float to the top. And so I think the smaller ones are going to get eaten up, man. This TIA and CAS and Litecoin,
you
just
don't like
nobody's
got a lot of upside, man.
Nobody's building on it. I do like
what,
Celeste.
Casa?
No, Litecoin. Nobody's building on Litecoin.
They got Mimble Wimble, remember?
And then Caspa is because it's
Caspa's interesting.
because Caspa's like a parallel to Bitcoin, right? It for it to achieve success, it needs to follow in the footsteps of Bitcoin. I think you just need to have a really long time horizon with them. And so I think 6 years is not even it, man. I really do.
Bearish on Caspa, huh?
I think
Caspa's
Caspa's a great pick for this bull market. I think going into the next year and a half, I think Caspa would be a solid play. Going out further than that, I don't know, man. There's a lot of competition. I mean, you compete. It's an upgraded Bitcoin. It's essentially what it is, right?
it's
a faster, more efficient Bitcoin. Consensus relies on a hash
Ghost
graph.
DAG.
Yeah,
Ghost
go
DAG.
DAG. So it's it's unique and it solves a lot of issues that Bitcoin has without compromising security. I think that's the big draw on it. But the thing is that it's going to be hard it not being centralized to draw in DApps. And when people are building, they're going to build on these platforms that are tailored for smart contracts that are incentivizing companies to come build on them. And they're saying, hey, look, we got a developer toolkit. Here you go. We got a team of people that can help you build and integrate your software. If you got something that's just more or less leaning towards a store of value that's gonna launch smart contracts, it's a long time horizon, man. And so for me, Caspa on a 6 year, I think it's a great play for this bull market. I don't like it 2 seasons out. And Litecoin, go get a shovel, dig a hole in the backyard,
sound like Kevin O'Leary on Shark Tank.
throw whatever you got in there.
So give us a number here. What do you rate?
I would say 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I'm going to give my thoughts on this, but the chat, I want to know, what would you rate this portfolio? What do you like? What do you dislike? Let us know. We'll highlight a couple comments. I actually like this portfolio. I think the Caspa allocation is great. I think if your technology and your ecosystem is that good, I don't think you necessarily need a lot of funding to market and have a centralized entity. I think Caspa is really what Satoshi envisioned it to be, right? Peer-to-peer, decentralized. It's proof of work. It has the Ghost Stack consensus. It's got smart contracts coming soon. So I like that. I like the BTC at 30%. So 515K and 25 million. This kind of tells me, and I don't know this person. I didn't ask him, what do you do for a living? How much money do you make? So I'm assuming at his portfolio, right? This is someone who probably makes a lot of money. And so to have 30% in Bitcoin, great. But if he wants to 50x in the next 6 years, he's going to have to take risk. I like Celestia, although I would bring this 18.9% down to closer to 10%. Solana 20%, I would bring that down just a little bit as well to about 15 to 16% and reallocate some of that. So I would take the remaining of the Celestia and the Solana, and I would take that, what is that, about 14%, and I would disperse it amongst Chainlink, Avalanche, Stacks, and Aave. I like your Aave play as well. I would completely get rid of Litecoin and just take all that and put it into Ethereum. And then GFAL, I would probably bring that down. I know you want exposure to gaming. Me personally, I think if you want that 50x, you should try to pick a couple games, specific games. Like we had Axie Infinity had a big run up. You got games like Big Time, Star Atlas, Shrapnel's a big one.
Ronin might be a good play.
Ronin might be a good play. Ronin might be a good play.
I mean, Gala, I think, is pretty solid. What I would do is just, with the big tokens, I said, majority of your portfolio, say 80%, and do 20% in that others, expand your others into a larger category.
Others is Injective and Mina, only two of them.
Yeah, I would. Injective Mina is fine, I guess. Or maybe not so much Injective. I don't know. Anyways, I would have a few real big homers to smack in there, right? I think Gala would be a good play there. Just some real long shots. And I'm not saying that Gala's a long shot. I'm just saying that I think for Gala to get what you want out of it, I think it's kind of a long shot. Casper is pretty good. Something I might be eyeing. Here's Ronin here at 108. Nexo might be a decent pickup for a smaller speculative. Engine, don't sleep on Engine. If you like gaming, Engine is one of the leaders in NFTs and gaming on the integration. IoTex, that's also maybe something to consider. But yeah, there you go.
Cool.
All right. Then.
So what I would give this portfolio, as it currently stands, I go to about a 6.5. 6.5. That is mine. I'm seeing. I'm kind of Rocco. You mind scrolling through the chat a little bit? So I see a 5 out of 10. I see a 7, a 2. Poman said a 2. Doesn't like this portfolio. But again, you're gonna have to take some risk, and I know 500K is a lot of money, but if you got your sights set on 25 mil, you got to take some risk, my friend. And I would 6 years. I would definitely have at least a 10% allocation to Ethereum. So yeah, there we go.
I think people are just, I'm not going to go in the long rant, but I think people are underestimating
and go ahead.
I think people are underestimating the potential for Ethereum. I think what we saw last bull market or coming out, from the last bear market going into the last bull market, we saw Ethereum go from $100 to 4,500. I mean, I think you might see something similar to that. Everyone's assuming that Ethereum just falls down. Don't sleep on Ethereum, man. Y'all think that all of a sudden
6 years? Yeah, don't sleep on Ethereum.
If you think that all of a sudden all the layer ones are going to outperform the leader in smart contracts, it's kind of asinine, right? Wake up. You're going to sit here and be like, hey man, Samsung, or Motorola got this new flip phone coming out. It's gonna be way better than the iPhone.
Motorola out of this?
It's gonna be way better than the iPhone. They came out with a new Razr. Remember how popular the Razr was? They got a new Razr coming out. It's gonna be way better than the iPhone. Like, bro, at the end of the day, you got to look at the market leader. The market right now is extremely early. It's gonna inflate by 100x and anything at the top is gonna consume most of those X's, right? Most of that money is gonna pour into the big boys, right? If all of a sudden you went from 10% of America owning cars to 90% of America owning cars, you might want to have exposure to the biggest car companies, Ford and Chevy, right? You might not want to be like, well, there's this small little company. It's over there it's in Washington. And like, bro, sure, take some risk. Maybe that company in Washington grows up to be, Tesla eventually, whatever. But at the end of the day, this market's going to inflate tremendously. It's going to get tons of more users. It's going to have a ton of money come in. Don't sleep on the big boys because they already have the users, the market. They already have
The liquidity.
the listing, the liquidity. They already have the dApps there. And realistically, you go out in the streets, you talk about crypto, everybody throw an eyebrow up at your ass. I'm like, oh, Bitcoin, Ethereum. And so once everyone around you start talking about crypto, they're gonna just play in the familiar spaces.
Careful with the eyebrows, man. Don't mess them up. All right. So big thank you for submitting your portfolio to the anonymous person. I'm not going to share. If you want us to rate your portfolio next Tuesday, DM us on Twitter or send an email to media@sincitycrypto.io. And we will go ahead and we'll pick one, and we might just pick yours, and we'll go ahead and rate it. I do want to share this. So the WEF convention is going on in Davos, and here we have Cantor Fitzgerald, CEO, talking about when the halving is going to come, and just listen to what he has to say.
Really well, and we should talk a little bit about crypto too before we finish.
Oh, well, let's squeeze it in. What would you like to say?
So, remember when gold ETFs started? They were very exciting in 2004, and it kind of stayed steady. There was all this hype that everyone's going to buy gold, and oh, come on. So I think Bitcoin ran up. It's kind of going to stay steady. But when the halving comes, it's going to start to rally and grow. So Bitcoin, I think, will grow. And there's a company that I like called Tether. It's a stable coin. And I manage many of their assets. And the Tether Holdings is the name of the group. And the group, I want to say it here with you, from what we've seen, and we did a lot of work, they have the money they say they had. In the last attestation, they said they had 86 billion of assets and 83 billion of liabilities. And I've seen a whole lot, and the firm has seen a whole lot, and they have the money. And so there's always been a lot of talk. Do they have it or not? So I'm with you guys saying we've seen it and they have it.
So spot Bitcoin ETF, do you think that's going to restore confidence to the whole sector given what we've seen take place in the last 12 months?
No, that doesn't have anything. That's just a way for Americans to buy it. Can I ask you a question?
Sure, please.
Why are Americans having anything to do with Bitcoin anyway? Why do they have anything to do with stablecoin anyway? Well, I could give you money on Venmo, on PayPal. It's not an American thing. This is Americans just cocking around like buying Tesla stock. Okay?
Well, they're doing that
Stop.
money.
I know they do, but this is a speculative asset for us. But for countries like Argentina, Venezuela, Turkey, these crypto assets matter. Stable coins matter in those countries. Okay, they really do. It's a way to hold on to the dollar. So I think Tether's stable coin in.
I'm going to stop it right there. Now, Cantor Fitzgerald has been around since 1945. They're a large financial services company with over 5,000 institutional clients. And this is the chairman and CEO. And he brought up, let's talk about Bitcoin. Do you agree with him, Robin?
Yeah.
You do?
On certain areas. Here's the thing, like, if you're expecting all of a sudden Americans just ditch the bank accounts, start sending peer-to-peer Bitcoin through the Lightning Network, and all of a sudden have smart contracts instead of using websites, that's a pipe dream. Crypto is for banking the unbanked, right? To offer services for people that don't readily have them available. And with that said, was it 2 billion people globally that have no bank accounts, right?
I think the number's higher, but
Is it higher? And then also people that do have banking services, a lot of times they're feed and interest out of the market, right? And so for me, it's very simple. Low income individuals in countries that don't have strong economies, they're going to flourish with crypto because it offers banking services that they don't have. Here in the United States, like you said, man, there's no reason for somebody that isn't an avid enthusiast of crypto to all of a sudden give up their bank account, delete the Zelle app, delete the Cash app, and all of a sudden say, "Hey, what's your wallet address?" Like that's far from it. Now, I do think at some point the institutions, the Cash apps, for example, the Zelle, the banks, I think they're going to be using crypto, and you might from a user standpoint not even realize you're using crypto. But I think that's pretty far away from where we're at now. I do think that's probably 6 to 8 years away. But I think market adoption globally in countries with weaker economies that don't have banking services, I think that's where crypto is best tailor-made for.
Yeah. On top of that, you got the other narratives for Bitcoin being store value and a hedge against government inflation. Speaking of hedging, so this is from the Kobayashi letter. Money market funds just saw $182 billion of inflows in the first 2 weeks. These are essentially like putting money into a CD or putting money into cash, right? This is the biggest 2-week inflow ever recorded to start a year. This brings the total assets held by money market funds to a record $6 trillion. Since the Fed began raising rates in March of 2022, over $1.5 trillion has gone into money market funds. Now for the $1 trillion question, where does all this capital go once the Fed starts cutting rates and people start deploying and start going risk on? You now have ETFs. You now have BlackRock making videos about Bitcoin. You have a front and center on Fidelity, on ARK, on BlackRock, not on Vanguard yet. So this is just, it feels like, you take a snowball, right? And you roll it in the snow and slowly gets bigger and bigger. And then once it gets big, every roll makes it just massive. And eventually starts going down that hill, and watch out below, because it does not care about the FUD. It does not care about who's doing what on the legislative side. If Elizabeth Warren's got her anti-crypto army multiplied by 10, it will not care. And there's a lot of money about to flow into to crypto, and I believe a lot of that's going to go into BTC.
And then real quick, I want to give a shout out to some of the new people here. If you're new, say hello. We'll drop an hola back at you. Also, smash the like button. We got DJ Webby, Antonio, I Love Guns, Mr. Joel George, Las Vegas, Eddie, Mickey, John James, Avid Crypto Life, Purple 303, and Ness. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Robin, Solana phone was...
They got a new one coming out,
Wow.
huh?
Yes, they do. Solana Mobile opens pre-orders for a new smartphone. Solana Mobile, the creators of the Saga phone, is set to launch a new device at a more affordable price point, only $450. We saw the massive hype when people found out that every new Solana phone had about $1,500 in bunk. And then you had all these Solana ecosystem tokens that were launching and saying, yeah, we're going to airdrop some tokens to Solana Saga phone holders. Would you recommend, not only for us, but for people watching, it'll be worth it to if you miss out on the first one, to get in on the second one with the potential of airdrops just hitting your phone?
I mean, why not? Right? Okay, I'll say this. If you have an iPhone, don't do it. Because here's the thing. Every time you leave the Apple ecosystem, you're always disappointed, right?
You can have two phones.
Like here's the thing. Like if you've done nothing but work on a Mac laptop, if that's all you've ever used, and you just casually want to switch over to Windows, you're gonna absolutely hate it.
But you're not switching. You're just having it as a
Stop. You're not gonna have two phones. Stop it.
No one. You've never heard the song? I got two phones, one for the plug and one.
Stop singing, man.
It's a song. It explains
I
why
understand it's a song. Yes, congratulations. Anyways, if you got an iPhone, stop.
You don't get it, man.
If you got an iPhone, don't do it.
Don't listen to Robin.
Now, if you got one of those stupid Android, what's up, Rocco? If you got one of those stupid Samsungs, then at that point, yeah, switch over for show. You're not even gonna notice a difference. If anything, it might work better. There you go.
You're an idiot, bro. Let's bring on. We got Ramil backstage. Ramil, come on. Let's bring Ramil in. Ramil, how you doing, bro?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Not
Always
much,
a
man.
pleasure.
We're excited to have you. If you're not familiar, this is RC, known as RC in the crypto world. He's been in our studio a couple times. Great guy. Used to play in the NFL, and he's got a big fight coming up. Before we get into the big IFC fight you got going on, this new Solana phone, like, what is Robin talking about, bro? Are you going to buy the new Solana phone to get some of these airdrops, or are you in the same thing as, hey, if you got an iPhone, there's no need to buy it? You can have more than one
Hey,
phone.
I'm an opportunist. It's almost like we have a crystal ball. If the phone is $450 and the airdrops might be $1,500, I'm ordering the phone. I may not use it, but I'll take the airdrops.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't understand this guy. Real quick, can you change your shirt? Because I don't like.
Get out of here.
Hey, it's
You
a
live in
story.
Las Vegas, bro.
It's a story. And here, forum. So my boys are in Vegas, which would be you two. And, I'm putting on a campaign for Antonio Pierce, man. I don't know why the hell they haven't opened the checkbook already.
Are you
So
coming
this is my
real quick? Are you coming to Las Vegas to watch Super Bowl? Are you gonna be here for Super Bowl? It's a few weeks here in the home, Cincinnati Crypto.
I'm thinking so, but I want to be careful with the training,
Oh, yeah.
that can get a little tough.
Well, I would
Right.
love to go. I just don't have a ticket, so
Oh my God, that was
Okay,
flag.
he's
Oh
fishing
my
for a
God.
free ticket.
Oh,
Listen to
dude, that was
so the
I'm just
real
saying,
reason,
yeah,
the
no,
real reason-
lame.
me and RC, we hang out outside of these
sure.
four
Yeah,
walls.
so do
okay?
I. I don't
And
ask for free stuff.
And we hang
Yeah.
out all the time. And I'm just saying, man, my man might come up with 2 tickets, and he might need one of his homies to go with him. So
Why this guy has an iPhone now?
He has an
We
iPhone.
may
though.
get a little discount. We may get a little discount.
Yeah, instead of
Yeah,
paying
don't have
$6,000, you'll pay $5,000.
oh,
So you got your RC. You mentioned training. We know you got your big fight coming up. You're fighting the giant, Jason Appleton, also known as Crypto Crow. Anything
Crow.
you want to? Yeah. So we met the Karate Combat people a few times. Been to a few of their events. Absolutely amazing what they're doing. We're super bullish on karate as not the token, right? We're talking about as a company and what they're looking to do with this IFC fight and your fight. How's the training going, and are you looking forward to the fight? And what do you think the outcome's going to be?
Training is reminding me that I'm 46 and I'm not 26. That's the biggest thing, the biggest indicator. Just recovery, right? You work out every day, right? It's not like it used to be, right? So that's kind of probably the biggest challenge getting through. But recovery been fine, and it's a good way. It's been a good way to get rid of the dad bod and get back to getting in shape. And Crow and I, we're not mortal enemies, but we are professionals. We know we have to go put on. We know we have to fight, and we will. But we don't necessarily want to knock each other's teeth, into another dimension.
Why not?
But we're gonna put on the show. We're gonna put on the show.
It's gonna be exciting, man. I'm gonna do my best to make it out to the Dominican Republic before for the fight.
You know what? You may not have to go that far. I'll just say that much. I won't spoil anything, but you may not be going that far.
Whoa! Are you dropping some insider knowledge here for us, bro?
Might be dropping some alpha here.
Okay.
Just
okay.
hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
Okay, I got you. That would be even better. I mean, I would like to visit another country, but yeah, obviously with the show and everything, it would be a lot better if it was somewhere nearby. RC, thank you so much for joining us, man. Any last words or anything you got going on you want to maybe talk about, or what you been up to these days?
Hey, I've been developing a token for 2024. I like to start the year with a crazy opportunity to get X's and gains. A large group of us, influencers, quote unquote, we have a project that's called Kulo Expert. It launches tomorrow. And it's a fair launch. It's to get into it. It's on the rug. Everyone's doxed on the project. And it was very heavy, right? It's a meme project on Polygon. Fair launching tomorrow. 85% of the supply is going into the LP indexes, and then 15% is very simple tokenomics will be used for incentives. So you won't have 50% of the supply dumped on you nonstop. We wanted to create a fair and equitable project, and that's what we're going to deliver tomorrow.
Awesome,
Kulo
man.
Expert.
For me, And we've been invited into a lot of different influencer coin launches, and the biggest thing for me is everyone just always takes profit, and so the last thing you want to do is if you have a community and a channel and a platform to kind of make money off the back of the people that support you and watch you, and so yeah, man, that's exciting, dude. Loved having you on, except for the shirt. I think next time you join us, I would rather. This is coming from a Packer fan.
How the hell?
Listen, bro.
How can you be a
I
bias?
hate
It's
the
your
Raiders.
city.
I like Antonio Pierce. I hate the Raiders. Absolutely hate them. You played with Antonio Pierce.
Vegas.
I don't care.
Do you think I like the Raiders? Do you think I like the Raiders? I played for the Steelers and the Dolphins. Do you think I like the Raiders?
That's why I said I think didn't you play with Antonio Pierce in Pittsburgh?
No. He was in New York with one of my best friends, Danny Clark. They were middle linebackers together for a long time. My old college roommate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I can't promise you that next time if I see you backstage with the Raider shirt, I might not even let you on the show. But I'd rather you wear a Bear shirt. You're from Chicago. I'd rather you wear a Bear shirt.
I can't believe you give me this much crap, man. It's your
RC, 'cause
city.
I love you, bro.
Robin, you and Dave. What the hell?
I am. Hey, man. I told you, bro. I'm your buddy, bro. Come out to Vegas and Super Bowl.
Yeah. Anyways, RC, man, thank you so much, brother. We love chatting with you.
Right.
Next time you're in Vegas, man, let us know.
Yeah, no. All joking aside, man. Next time you're in Vegas, let us know. We always hang out when you're out here, and go get some drinks, hang out. We have a poker game. I don't know if you're gonna be here on February 5th. Poker game, my house. It's gonna be a big one. We got dealers, bartenders.
If you want to donate money to me, feel free to come because I'm gonna take everyone's.
He
money
did win last time. He
Sounds
won the
like
last.
a donation. Sounds like a donation, a setup, maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Rob's money too.
Charity
don't worry.
dividend.
Robin's not, I'm taking his money too. I'm actually looking forward to taking his money the most.
Mhm.
RC, man, thank you so much, brother. We look forward to talking to you again, bro. Take care.
Thank you.
Hey, pleasure, gentlemen. Thank you.
My pleasure, bro. Thank you. Andrea said, Dave just lost your tickets, Rob. Oh man, I want to give
I'm actually thinking about just buying some, honestly.
Bro, you are not spending $6,000 on tickets.
Well, why not?
Stop it. Enough. unless our leverage trades.
Okay.
Unless, hold on, our leverage trade, if Bitcoin goes to like 80K, sure, we'll go to the game, okay? Deal?
Okay.
80K? No. How about the 12K?
No, I'm saying
price
if
of
it
two
goes-
tickets.
No, I'm saying if the price of Bitcoin goes to 80K,
Mm.
not if we make 80K.
At least you can go to Area 15 maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Anyways,
All right. So then how about this? How about we don't close?
just leave it open and get liquidated.
Yeah.
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
That's not being a good trader. Man. Come on.
Keep your trades open, and then let it ride.
Now I know
And
why.
on one end, it's liquidation. On the other end, it's Super Bowl tickets.
Yeah. Risk
I
versus
think
reward,
it's a
right?
good idea.
Risk versus
Put
reward.
a 1 in the chat if you like to see responsible trading. Put a 2 in the chat if you want to see us swing for the fences. Keep the trades open until we realize enough profits to buy 2 tickets to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, put 3 if you're gonna get the money enough to buy the new Subaru phone.
So 1, responsible trading. 2, keep it in, let it
Responsible
ride
trading.
until you get Super
Great.
Bowl
Damn
tickets.
it. I'm seeing Bitcoin moving. Looks like we're in the green on both of our positions. So if you took our Bitcoin trade, and if you had if you traded with more money and had more leverage, congratulations, you are making money. And the platform we're using, guys, is BingX, and they are doing a special airdrop for the first.
Yeah, we
The
get
first 20 people sign up. So
you get a free airdrop for 20. I think we've had 2 signups already, so we got 18 more giveaways there.
yeah. And I will actually, before we sign off, I will drop
Chris
the-
Crypto put a 1 in the chat. He says,
Good, because Chris Crypto.
"Oh no, that's responsible gaming." No,
Yeah, exactly.
So Rob and okay, so we got more 2s in here. Look at that. People want me to go to the Super Bowl.
I got a 3, yeah.
See, the people have spoken. They
Yeah,
want to
you
see.
yeah, okay.
Man, we'll live stream from the Super Bowl. How about that?
Stop it. Guys, I want to give one last shout out to channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help,
Rob
business
changed
scale.
his number. He was 1, and
you
he
not
went, he
interrupt
went
me when I'm-
quadruple
when I'm-
4. He went quadruple
I am
4.
trying to pay our bills. Will you stop interrupting me?
I'm trying to spend the money.
Big shout out. Cam's Blue Wire Tech. Visit bluewire.tech.com. That's all we got, man. Follow us on Twitter, Sin City or X, Sin City Crypto 1. We do have our video coming out in about 15, 20 minutes. A lot of alpha in there, man. top 3 coins that are going to make you a lot of money in 2024. One of them is Celestia. The other one, you're going to have to watch the video to
The other
find out.
2, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be out to the members in
Yeah.
about 10 minutes or
Yeah.
so, and then to the
Members
public.
get early access. So one perk you get as being a member and supporting this channel, not only do you get the emojis, you get early access to all of our videos as well. So big shout out to all the members and big shout out to Rocco pressing the outro button. Rocco!
You say it.
Jesus Christ.
You told him, you prompted him to hit the button.
2.5 years, Rocco. How do you
Say-
not know the tornado?
You say
thing?
from the bottom.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Come back tomorrow, same place, same time. We love you guys. Peace.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be late.